Soul Garden. It's okay.
Namaste. Welcome to soulmate.me Guided HangOut's Practical Wizardry. Please welcome our host, a psychic, famous astrologer, and one of the most magical wizards in the world, the wonderful wizard of Christopher Witecki.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for logging into Practical Wizardry. We are coasting into Libra, and actually, we're not really coasting. It is like we're under a grand square, so the whole universe is kind of tense right now. But we're moving into the next season or the next topic of Practical Wizardry, and I'm pretty excited about that because, no offense, but the Virgo topics to me are pretty heavy, and I'm really glad to get onto the lighter side of Libra energy. It's so much more fun in lots of ways, and really, that's the truth. I mean, Libra energy on Earth is the energy that allows things to come and go. A lot of times people think Libra is love. Not true. Love is Leo. What we love is our Leo consciousness. Libra consciousness is our ability to give and receive love, anger, hatred, anything. So when we give and receive, we are in the exchange, and we're in the karmic play on Earth. We are now in play once we start doing something in our vessel of love and exchanging things on Earth. This is when it starts to get complicated, interesting, dramatic, and hard. But I thought we would start off kind of like how we've started this tradition in Practical Wizardry of doing a little slideshow of Libra consciousness and just looking at the Libras, if you will. And here we go. This is this week, courtesy of imdb.com. So here are some famous Libras. We have Neve Campbell. She's been around for a while, and it's funny with Libras, you always think their career is over, but they pop back. No kidding. There's something about it. It's that if they tip the scale too far out of popularity, they come back. She was like Party of Five, and she was gone, and she's back and gone, back and gone. This guy's interesting. He was the Facebook guy. I'm surprised he's still around. No offense, Jess. I'm sorry, dude. But I just keep seeing you as that one character. And, of course, Harry Potter, right? Is that who that is? Yeah, Harry Potter, basically, or Nightmare on Elm Street, I guess. No, excuse me. He looks, without glasses, I don't know. But let's sit down. Sigourney Weaver, here's someone that's very interesting as a Libra, too, because Libras have this interesting personality matrix. On the one side, they're an Aries. On the other side, they're kind of a diplomat. All right, and the Libras live in their diplomat energy in the world, but at home they raise hell, if anyone's married to a Libra. But what's interesting is you can notice that these actors have kind of that heaven and hell kind of duality. You've got Sigourney Weaver, who has literally fought aliens. You got Matt Damon, who's like the sweet guy, but then he's a spy. He goes back and forth on the heaven-hell thing. Hugh Jackman's interesting, too, because he's like, Wolverine, and then he's tap dancing at the Oscars. Come on. Will Smith, I always thought he was kind of a Cancer, but he's actually, the soft guy is, Libra energy, which is kind of cool. Zac Efron, a lot of Libras come out as that, quote, pretty boy Libra, and Zac is, exactly that kind of Libra icon. Here's Jean-Claude Van Damme. Sorry, sir. But apparently he's living in the only tough side of it, so I guess he's a softie at home. He's wearing the panties. He's inside out Libra. Oh, Tim Robbins, he's kind of classic Libra in the sense of, what I think one would expect in Libra energy. Who else? What famous Libra is zipping through here really quick? This guy I recognize. Yeah, Sean William Scott has played nothing but a disgusting pig, which Libras do have in them, by the way. And Michael Douglas, that's the one I was trying to get to. These two have the same birthday, married to each other. How crazy is that? But now they're actually going through a divorce. Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Same birthday, married together, and now going through divorce. So Libra is well known for relationships. And, these two, Catherine and Michael, this would be like, probably the most atypical or stereotypical kind of Hollywood cliche relationship, because he had cancer, but she stayed with him, but now he doesn't have cancer, so she's leaving, right? Very kind of typical Libra story. But, Libra is associated with relationships, and that got me thinking about, some of the relationships that are known in life. Like, what are the famous relationships? And this is laurelandhardy.com. Oh, this isn't playing. Oh, here we go. One of my favorite relationships, peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly. These two go together like Libra. Right? Laverne and Shirley. Those two were quite a Libra pair, energetically, kind of a perfect Libra pair. Of course, we always think of romance, and Disney did not sponsor this slide. Google did. Here's like another pair you think about, like the working pair, but there's a romance underneath. This is one of my favorite pairs, I think, as far as like romantically, as far as a professional and marriage relationship, George Burns and Gracie Allen. Here's a gay pair. Right? And and I think they're kind of a perfect pair. I mean, as far as Libras are concerned. And you can see we have gay marriage, the bride and the groom here. This is cover gay times, but when it comes to marriage, especially since Saturn and Libra, we've been having changes. Here's another gay slide, The Bachelorette, where one woman is shopping for many men. Another change in our Libra statistics these days. And, kind of interesting. I mean, say what you want about President Obama. Looks like a stable marriage. Just saying. I mean, looks like a stable marriage. There's definitely something very romantic about those two. And then, of course, we have to end with sister wives, where marriage is going, U.S. polygamy. Oh, and that's a kudos to all the Sister Wives producers who I do know, and send much love and grace to your show. Actually, I think that show is fascinating. It's really breaking the envelope of what can be done. So relationships, the whole thing of relationships, as an astrologer, I got to say, there's two questions that always come up in every reading. Where's my career going? And where are my relationships going? Those are always the two questions. And those are really our two full-time careers. Usually our full-time careers are that we want to do something on Earth and we don't want to do it alone. That's our biggest fear. And fear of being alone is a big problem on Earth, one of the biggest problems on Earth. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about the different stages of mirage and marriages and the highest partners of it. But let's go back to Leo real quick and talk about, review what we've done. We were talking about Leo, we went to Virgo, and now we're in Libra. And if anyone is just catching the series, you can go back to the beginning and learn incrementally. And in Leo, we talked about the three stages of consciousness are self-worship, self-gratitude, and self-promotion. In Virgo, it was self-awareness, integrity and health, and synergy energy. And now in Libra, the three stages of the consciousness. In chapter 1, I notice my color changes if I just move my hands. Just noticing. I go from hot pink to really hot pink. And by the way, you get away with pink in Libra, so no comments, please. So in Libra, the three chapters are your self-relationship. All relationships on Earth begin with how you relate to yourself. This is the big hidden wizard secret, practical wizardry secret, is that the mirage, what I call the mirage, is the most quintessential part of all of your magic with others on Earth, the most quintessential point. Human relationships is the next level. So first you have to spend some of the Libra energy just focusing on you and yourself and balancing yourself. Then you spend the next layer of Libra energy on relations with others. This could be the postman, this can be your teacher, this is all relationships and how you relate, right? And then at the very top are human alliances, aka strategic alliances in business, alliances in romance, marriages, and partnerships. Those are all the categories. So in exploring ourself, I have a question for our studio audience after we get back from our break, and I'm just curious, to you, I gave you a little tour of what the perfect relationships I saw were. What is your idea of the perfect relationship? And you may not use peanut butter and jelly. That's fine.
Thank you, Christopher. We will be right back with more practical wizardry right after these messages from our angel sponsors.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to Witecki Theater, the serene environment I've created for meditations and products, including the Act 3 orbit reports, and that's what I'm talking about today. For just $11.11, I will guide you for over 30 minutes on Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio, giving you a nice forecast of what's to come. And believe it or not, on 11/11/2013, there'll be a lot of change. You have to watch or listen to find out. So please help us by downloading your copy at soulmart.me.
Welcome back to Practical Wizardry, sponsored by soulmart.me. If you would like to be a member of our studio audience, just come down to lovefest.tv 15 minutes prior to our live capturing, and you will find a dynamic link to join. And now back to you, Chris.
Thank you, GA33. How are you enjoying the double digits, by the way? 2 numbers.
Oh, I love it. I love that God gave me a new name. It's fun.
And another number is a little bit more Gemini. You couldn't just do a single. It was kind of complicating you. So we were talking about what relationships are. We're talking about Libra. We're talking about balance and harmony and connection. And I have a question for our studio audience, whoever wants to answer. And what is your idea of the perfect relationship? And I should also add and why. Anybody want to share their perfect relationship? By the way, we have a total pink gallery here, and I'm very proud. And we are sponsored by Pepto-Bismol today, folks. So anyone have an answer? No? Come on. Oh, okay, I'm going to go to Kristen. I see peace fingers. Yay, Gemini, our Earth goddess.
I'm thinking Johnny and June Cash.
Johnny and June Cash.
I know in the beginning. Sorry.
No, please.
I know in the beginning it was a little bit rough, but they were soulmates, and they were destined to be together, and they found each other and lived happily ever after.
And, let me just do a follow-up question since people are shy on what the perfect relationship. What is a soulmate to you?
Someone who you can be your true self with. That might be all, actually.
I would
that
agree
might
with
be
that.
all. That's a pretty big deal right there.
Right on. Anyone else have a soulmate definition? Just curious because we're on the topic. For me, just since it's a hot topic. Oh, yeah, okay. I want to hear. Let me hear yours, Dawn.
You can be you and I can be me.
Yeah.
That's perfect love, or that's soulmates, or both?
Both.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think. As a reader, as an astrologer, I have to come up with my own definition. So, people are always welcome to hang or not hang with whatever I say on these types of things, just for the record. But my own personal belief is that a soulmate is someone you have mated with in the past. That is it.
I usually think of my stepson as one of my soulmates, so I definitely don't agree with you. But I love you.
Well, I'm just saying that in my next life, I will have many soulmates. That's all I'm saying. By my definition. But I actually think, I think it all falls into that. I believe that a soulmate technically is someone that you have had at least a strong enough connection to have experienced moments of intimacy in a past life that tie you. If you have children and you aspect a soul, you are now woven together by the Akashic. So there's different ways you get woven together, but typically a soulmate is someone who's coming from the past. We're getting a little bit of an echo. Is a soulmate is coming from the past, and so as a result, we're extremely attracted to them because all the other 5,999,000,000 people on Earth we're not attracted to, right? So when you meet someone that you've mated with in South Africa in the early 2 AD, right? It's like, wow, you're looking good, right? And there is this instant wow that you definitely get, which is like, I think past life memory, like, woo, and I think Akashic is like, who the hell is that? And there's like a look up with your crown chakra, and you're like, and subconsciously you're feeling it. Well, relationships and getting together and coming together, this is what Libra is all about, and soulmates and what the perfect relationship is. This is the huge question mark. And you know what? We're talking about practical wizardry here, so we're talking about magic. And where do relationships fit in magic? How does that all work anyways? Well, it's really a very simple equation. As soon as you have another person who can play your tune, you now have two stars manifesting. It's just that simple. If you have two people sharing energy and they both light cast at the same time, you have twice as much gravity and effect. This is what we know as the binary star system, which allegedly is where our sun and Sirius, the star Sirius, are. Allegedly, one of the big theories out there is that Sirius is the twin flame of our star. They're lovers.
Mm.
And the new age is that they're coming back home to each other. They've been separated. Seriously. I know. And one is a blue star and one is a red star. So as we come together, we get quite violet, which is more of our crown chakra. How interesting. So where we are today is we're trying to synergize our energy in Libra, and we're trying to give and receive. And the very simple principles of Libra have to be kind of thrown out there first. So I'm going to do a little slideshow before our next break. But you know you love these screen show slideshows, don't you, folks?
Yes, we do.
Agree. Thank you. Stroke that ego. So we're talking about the 12 states of awareness, of course, and you know, this all comes from my teachings of the 12 steps to manifest. And so far, we've actually worked on step 1 and step 11, because in reality, the sun does not go in the order of manifestation as far as how one manifests in consciousness. At least through the year, we don't cycle it in the order of manifestation. And I'm not even sure why we cycle it in that order. I'll have to sit there and try to second guess God consciousness. But giving and receiving is step 6. So if you were going to manifest something, first you protect it, then you love it, then you open up your feelings, open up your beliefs. You have to see where it belongs in the universe. Your mind has to be behind you, and then you give and receive. You kind of open up the ports. And the reason why you open up the ports, in my opinion, at step 6 is because this is where if you have anyone on your team, you double, triple, quadruple, quintessential, blah, 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 your power, your energy. You actually add more to the spell. In the same sense, any relationship that is taking from you and not giving back is taking energy away from your spells, right? And so this is how relationships drain us. So the chakras are aligned to the 12 steps, and they have all sorts of meanings, but it's important to understand that the throat chakra is where we give and receive. The front of the throat chakra is what communicates the balance. The back of the throat chakra is actually what puts up a boundary. I'm talking about in light casting reality, not in the body. The chakras align to the body differently, just for the record, differently than this is for light casting. So when we're light casting, step 6 is I balance with myself, and I balance her with us. And we'll talk about that later. That's the high end of the spell. But the low is I balance me with myself. The very first affirmation of Libra is balancing yourself with yourself. Looking at a chart, these are today's planets, by the way. Look at the chaos up there. Holy shift. All this energy going up into Saturn Scorpio. Oh, damn it. I got a magic wand cursor and I forgot to turn it on. Next episode, folks. Damn it. Damn it. So, and today what's very fascinating is the sun in Libra is 100% directly opposing Uranus at 10 degrees at 6:08 p.m. Tonight Pacific. So today, in this opening taping, anyways, it'll air later. In this opening taping, the sun is struggling with balance with the ego, Uranus. Our relationships are struggling with balance. But what I bring up with this is the fight with all relationships. On the one side, we have our consciousness of how we share. On the other side, we have the consciousness of how we never share, Aries. Okay? And so as human beings within us, we always have to first be in balance with how we share, how we're open to sharing versus our own ego, right? So the 3 stages always are beginner, proficient, and master. And beginner level is the mirage. And I want to throw out one quick thing here, what I call the law of light casting. This is my law. I've written it. We'll see if it sticks when I'm dead. Which is law of light casting, which is deliberately LOL, by the way. That was not an accident. Law of light casting is what you be in the universe, in the innerverse. Let me get my law correct. Let's try this again. See, that's why it's LOL. What you be in the innerverse is what comes in the universe. And that's really true. What you be on the inside is what comes on the outside. And that's the law of light casting, which means what you be inside is what comes on the outside. And so the law of light casting is basically what determines what you attract, right? What you're being inside is what you attract. Then once you attract someone, you've got to keep them, right? Attraction is just across the bar. Can I buy you a drink? After the law of attraction, there's all sorts of things. The law of visa, the law of tipping, right? Oh my goodness. So this all boils down to, where I'm taking the next lecture is the mirage in consciousness. It turns out that in reality and in magic, you know, it kind of builds from the first moment out. And as far as consciousness and attraction is concerned, really, we come into the womb and we fly through the womb a lot while our mommy is pregnant with us. And I really believe that we kind of farm ourselves and we help we come in as a spirit and we make ourselves grow. But astrology believes that the soul is not tied to that body until the baby takes the first breath and signs the soul contract with that. Just, you know, breath print right here, please. Thank you. Enjoy the ride. Slap it on the acid. Off it goes. A new sprout on Soul Garden. Right? Like, right?
Thank you, Christopher. We have to do a commercial break right now. We'll be right back after this message from our angel sponsors.
Having trouble finding that special soulmate? Oh, I know. Are you ready to find love? So what do you think your ideal mate is? This I can solve for you. Check out Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report at secretsofbirthdays.com.
Now we're back with Practical Wizardry with Christopher Witecki. Back to you.
Thank you so much, GA33. It must be nice always having a 3 right next to you. You know what I mean?
It is. It's double, like double
Yeah, 6
pleasure.
Well, yeah, for you indeed. That's what I love about you. So we're talking about our mirage, and I have a question to everyone, and I'm not going to ask it I'm going to ask it now, but I'm not going to force you to answer now. But the question is, who are you to you? Who are you to you? You know, in your life. And this comes from the idea of the mirage and the marriage, and the idea of from the moment of birth we kind of build on consciousness, and thinking that in the sense of when it comes to the way people see you, it is always built on the way you see yourself, always. But it's kind of hard to understand that. You know, when people say, oh, you're projecting, you know, 3 fingers, 1 finger, you know, onto me, onto you, you know, rubber and glue, you know. Well, the truth is that through law of attraction, we are always attracting our like, right? But on an even deeper level, we have programmed ourselves by the way we respond to ourselves. So let's go down to childhood real quickly. Mother says, your room is a mess. No. Go in there and clean up your room, says mother or father. I'm not trying, no mother issues here. Seriously, I'm fine. So they do that. Now what happens is the child goes, or whatever, right? But then inside, the mommy leaves. Right? Or the daddy leaves, right? And as soon as that happens, the child kind of, in a way, looks to the mirror and says, what is that sentence you say to yourself after you have bounced off of someone or someone has bounced off of you? What do you say to yourself? That is your mirage. That is the moment of actually defining your marriages. It's not how your mother treated you. It's not how your father treated you. It's not how you've been treating others. It's actually how you decide to respond from your mother, father treating you to you. That is what defines all marriage, all partnership, all love on earth potential, believe it or not. It's the simplest, most skipped over moment in life. First of all, we're super distracted by Virgo, the actual fleshy tissue of the hot girl, right? So in a relationship, we're like, oh my God, she's so hot, but she's so bitchy, right, or whatever. And we're so caught on the flesh that we're not realizing that every time we yell at him or her, or every time we, you know, exchange our badminton of whatever it is, that's not the first exchange. What happens is they say, you're always late. And then inside we go, are we always late? Right? Like everyone does that. Are we late? There is that, like, she's either right or wrong, right? And in that moment we go, yes, I'm always late. And then there's another moment to yourself. So fucking what? What is that moment, right? What is that moment? Who cares? And who is that person, right? When I found myself in the hospital for the 3rd time, I had to ask myself, how the hell is someone so bright and so loving in his heart ending up in the hospital? How do I end up here? And I have to say, I learned it was my mirage to myself. And it was very interesting because when I drilled down onto it, I realized that whenever the world was hard on me, I was harder on myself. Harder. Always harder. I was kind of like, you know, I'm a Taurus, and I'm a Chapter 2 proficient Taurus seeking to be master. And, but I have to say that all signs can degrade to the lowest form of themselves. And you can think about this in your own signs down there at the bottom, and you viewers at home. When you are the worst version of yourself, think of the worst version of that sign. In my case, Adolf Hitler. All right, like, because I think what happens is someone yells at me, and then I'm like, to myself, and I'm like, and I make myself feel bad. And see, what that is I make myself feel bad, and then I basically put myself into a concentration camp. This is not to put anything down on what the Jews went through or anyone went through in Holocaust, but the truth is that Taurus can be that, you know, Taurus can be that horrible kind of Hitler image. And I really did degrade to that kind of point where I am hard on myself, and then I make myself feel bad. And then after I feel bad, there's something about feeling bad that brings out the hero in me. So then once I'm feeling bad, I'm Soul Garden guy, so I'm like, just sing the song, Soul Garden. You stand up and like, ah! But see, I put myself through boom, 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 pop, rebuild, blah, 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 to get to here, is what I discovered in me. And everyone has their own little games that they play. And I don't know why or how or who taught me how to be so hard on myself, because I don't think, to credit to my family, I don't think my family taught me to do that to myself. I honestly think I brought that in from past lives or something like. Again, it comes down to my meterage. What do you say to yourself in the mirror at any point? Who is that person to you? And so with my clients that I give readings with and with people I work in classrooms and one-on-one, I always try to first get to, well, what does your inner child want? What does your heart want, right? And, you know, my heart wants a lot of things. What should I share? My heart likes being on camera. I'll share that, all right? So my heart really wants that, and I like being on camera. So what does my heart need as a partner? What does my heart need as a partner? My heart needs a coach. My heart needs a hairdresser. My heart needs like someone who can dress himself. I know the pink is a little too hot today. It's the lighting. You know what I mean? Like my inner artist, my heart needs constant sort of support that is loving and kind and gentle and compassionate. And that is what will bring out the best in me. That is what will bring out the best in me. And so what's interesting is like skipping ahead a little bit and how meterage works with partnerships before we run out of our time. I want to talk about how, you know, what I found going through, you know, through my life, flipping through the pages of the book as I, you know, healed and stuff from my hospital wounds each time was, I noticed that like I always drew in relationships where the girls were, you know, seemed really nice at first. Sorry if I doubt any of them are watching, so I'm not worried. So if they are, I'm like, get over it, you know, like, sorry. That's my ego talking. Stop it. So, but at the end of the day, what I did find was that, like, just to give you kind of example how this all works in weird mirror form. Everyone has kind of like that rising sign that they put out, but then everyone also has the part of their personality that they keep private. And that's what rules your 7th house or is the way you are in a marriage. So it's always the opposite of your sign. This is what's interesting. So, you know, Arises are like Libras in marriages, and Libras are like Arises in marriages. That's the way it always is. And Scorpios are like Tauruses in marriages, and Tauruses are like Scorpios in marriages. That's the way it always is. There's this weird mirror of the ego and the reflection that kind of happens, which is really kind of part of the interesting thing. So I treat myself like, you know, Adolf Hitler. I'm mean to myself, right? And so I go out looking for what? Nice girls. Nice girls. Okay, so what I didn't realize was, you know, this is my early 20s dating and stuff. Nice girls, well, they come in, and it's like, oh, hi. And then we start to get close, and then things start to get intimate or whatever, and then I see the real person. Wow, right? And this person has been hiding that person because this person is afraid of that, right? So the point is if you don't treat yourself nicely, you can either do one of two things. You'll either go out looking for, you know, your ego will out looking for someone that treats you like shit, you know what I'm saying? As a result, if not treating yourself nicely, or your ego go out and try to find someone that looks like nice, then treats you like shit. But no, however it looks, it will always be in the background the exact same way you treat yourself. And what also is interesting, if you're still with me, is that you'll find that by law of attraction, you're not quite often attracting people who have the same mirage with themselves as you. So the reason why I would find myself in girls who would be mean to me later down the road was because I found out she was being a Hitler to herself. We had that in law of attraction. And so the essence of this episode and the essence of this next week is to look at, how do you treat yourself? Who are you to you? So now I want to know from our audience, our studio audience, who are you to you? What character have you found yourself playing to yourself? Does anyone have figured it out here? Anyone want to share? Nobody can compete with Hitler. Nobody. Darius? No? Okay. Well, the nature of this is this. I don't know if I'm missing people. We might be having a time lapse here. But the nature of this is this, that when we walk out in the world this week, and in this first chapter of Libra, we're really going to be settling our ego versus the way we relate to others. And the only time our ego misfires, really, is when we are not treated well. And what's interesting is that if we're not treating ourselves well, our ego will still misfire. So grumpy people, because they're in the back beating themselves up, the ego will misfire because the subject is not happy. So we must be always in concert of treating ourselves well, and always in awareness of treating ourselves well, and always in awareness of how we're responding to ourselves before we allow ourselves to react to others. And I found some practical wizardry on how to do this. And it comes to basically looking insane for about 30 days. Does anyone want to look insane for about 30 days? Okay, good.
Thanks.
What I propose to our viewing audience is this. It's time, no matter where you are, because the sun is opposing Uranus in Aries, everyone on Earth technically is getting a new mirage, which means everyone on Earth is turning away from an old ego. And ironically, today is the day of that turning point. Now, the consequence of turning away on the old ego, to me, that old ego was the character, was the Hitler, that ego was that first reflection, was that mirage character. So as we turn our back on our ego, on an old ego, the way to do that is to turn toward a new mirage partner inside of us, to turn toward the new ego that we want to be always there by our side inside of us, the new character that we want to be always there by our side. So in complete lunacy, I recommend that everyone spend the next 30 days working on your mirage first, and we're going to get to your actual marriage and partnerships later, but really it takes a full 30 days of mirage. And next episode, we're going to talk about partnerships and all the other layers of consciousness, but we're still going to work on our mirage. So your soul assignment is you need to go out and buy yourself a ring because you're getting married. You're getting married, honey, in 30 days. Everyone's getting married. Why do you think I had us wear pink? Come on. I plan these things. I'm very romantic with mirages. You know what's really funny is after I had a breakup with a girlfriend, she saw me on Soul Garden and I had put on my mirage ring. And she was like, what? You and I got married? So funny. I was like, I got married, honey. Someday. But the first thing you have to work on, so find a ring. I think a ring is important because the ring represents, you know, how you will connect to yourself. Find the ring, and what we're going to be working on are the mirage vows. That's your soul work assignment for this first week, is to work on your mirage vows, to look at who are you to yourself, and what are your vows to yourself. What do you promise yourself at the me altar before you walk out the door and make strategic alliances and become a sister wife yourself, right? Because the truth is, if we're already married to ourselves, we're all polygamists, right? Hey, so we'll save it for Scorpio. Don't get too wild on me. That's a Scorpio topic. Many marriages is actually a Scorpio topic. But marriage is important. So work on your vows. And secondly, in the moment, this is your daily assignment for the daily kind of moment thing, is every time you talk to yourself to envision what that character is, you know? And I always tell my clients that you should have an icon of your perfect marriage partner and put it on your iPhone or on your Google device. So every time I answer my phone, it's like Laurel and Hardy. It's like da 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 da, and it's you and you. And you and you is really, I think what Peter Pan was singing about with me and my shadow, I kind of think that it wasn't so much shadow as in dark side as much as in the side the world doesn't see, which is the way I treat myself. So pay attention to how you treat yourself. Listen to how you respond to yourself. Decide what those meterage vows are. Pick out a ring, and I'll see you all in 7 days. Namaste.
Wow, thank you, Christopher. And I just happened to I have my ring on today.
Bling
There
bling
it is.
too.
That's
Are
my
you engaged, honey?
to myself.
Yes.
I just want you guys to know that the Act 3 videos are out, and you can get them at soulmart.me. They are wonderful and amazing. And I just would like to thank Christopher Witecki for his amazing lessons of magic today. Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you.
On behalf of soulmart.me and soulgarden.tv, we would like to thank you for watching. Live, love, be.
Hello, my brother. Stop it. Hello, my brothers and sisters.
TV.